Hello, good morning. Welcome back. Today we're gonna make pancakes. The simplest thing sometimes seems like the hardest, so I'm gonna take you by the hand and we'll do it together. Go ahead and wash your face and brush your teeth, and I'll meet you back here in a minute. Here's our recipe, so go ahead and pause the video to get your screenshot. This recipe begins with something that we call soured milk. So I've got my 3/4 of a cup of whole milk, and I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of just regular white kitchen vinegar. And what this is going to do is it'll curdle the milk, and it's going to add to the texture and the flavor of your pancakes, but you will not taste vinegar, I promise you. Now this sits for 10 minutes. So I'm gonna set my timer, and while we're waiting for that 10 minutes to elapse, we're gonna get the rest of our ingredients together. We're gonna start by melting our butter. So I've got 2 tablespoons of real salted butter in my little stainless pan. So I've got that on a nice low flame. We're gonna melt it very gently. We want it to just be melted. We don't want it to be bubbly. So right now I'm gonna turn that flame off, and I'm even gonna remove it from that burner and just let it sit until we're ready for it. We're gonna start combining our dry ingredients now in a big glass bowl. I like to use this pitcher. It's an 8-cup pitcher. Even though we're not going to be pouring from the spout, we're going to be using a spoon. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, first we need our flour. And this is just 1 cup, all-purpose, unbleached flour. So there's a 1/2 cup. And there's another 1/2 cup. We're going to add to that 2 tablespoons of white sugar. And this is plain white sugar, nothing fancy. And 2. Now you notice I didn't tell you that this was a carbless recipe, because it most certainly is not, but it is all wholesome ingredients and your family will love it. So why all the carbs? Well, I did my Zumba this morning, I had my protein drink, and now I deserve some carbs because I'm going to be doing some more Zumba later on. And that is the time to carb load, period. And we're gonna go ahead and add our baking powder. This recipe calls for both baking powder and baking soda. It's 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And you'll notice that all the implements I use are either glass or stainless steel. No plastic. I have a couple silicone scrapers, but they don't hold any odor and they don't stain. And so they're also sustainable. All right, baking soda, we want 1/2 teaspoon. I don't know if you've ever noticed this before. My mother taught me this trick. Inside the edge of the box, when you lift this up, you get a flat edge right there on the cardboard. And so you take your heaped spoon and you just go ahead and scrape it along to level your spoonful. Just a little trick. I want 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and I'm using just a sea salt. 1/2 teaspoon will fit right in there. And again, I just scrape it across the lip of the inside, and we have a nice level spoonful. Those are all our dry ingredients. I'm gonna get my whisk just to blend them all up together real good. The 10 minutes has elapsed for our soured milk, so that is done souring. And I'm gonna add my melted butter now into the milk, using a nice silicone scraper to get all that goodness into the mix. There we go. We're gonna add an egg And we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. The vanilla makes all the difference in the world when it comes to flavor. This is something that Grandma used to do. 1 teaspoon. And then I'll just take a fork to gently combine all these ingredients before we add it to our dry. And I'm going to go ahead and add those right into the dry and get them all combined. All mixed up real good. Now you're going to stir this just until all of the dry ingredients are moist. You don't want to over stir it. Give it a little shake, get all the dry stuff out of the middle. There you go, that's pretty well combined. Now this sits for 10 minutes. Don't worry, you have enough patience, I promise. That's our timer. 10 minutes has passed, so we're ready to start making our pancakes. Now I started warming this pan about 30 seconds ago. You can see the butter is just beginning to get bubbly. I've got this on a medium flame. And remember, the secret to having your stainless behave as if it's non-stick is to have the pan nice and hot. Now this isn't just butter. This is a butter and olive oil blend, and my neighbor makes this actually. This is made very local to me, and you've probably got something like this in your supermarket. It's just pasteurized cream, dry from milk, olive oil, sea salt. Period. That's the most important part of your label, those ingredients. All right, now you can see that the batter is nice and bubbly. We're gonna go ahead and start dipping it in with just a little, well, dipper. I'm gonna start with just 2. You should be able to hear a nice sizzle. There you go. Now if you have a griddle, then by all means use that. But if all you have is a pan, this works. Now as you can see, the tops are starting to become all bubbly and they're starting to rise. And when we begin to see a little bit of golden color on the bottom around the edges, then we'll know it's time to flip. For now though, I'm just going to see if I can get my spatula under there. Oh yeah, real easy. I'm just going to give that another minute. Now I think we're ready to flip. Get right in there. Look at that. Perfect. Nice and golden. And the second side is going to take about half as long, so maybe 1 minute for the second side. 2 minutes for the first, 1 minute for the second. And again, we've got it on a nice medium flame, nice heavy stainless pan. And that's why we call them pancakes. Now I'm going to move them around to get them into that butter blend. The reason that I use the butter blended with olive oil is because olive oil takes the heat a little bit better. And I know I wanted a nice hot pan, so here we go. And we're not giving up on any flavor. The flavor is still just as good. Here we go, 2 light fluffy pancakes. And we're not going to ruin them by pouring some random sugar water on there that pretends to be syrup. I've got some actual 100% pure maple syrup, grade A, baby, and just a little bit. And I can't wait to dig in and taste this. Woo. Oh yeah. That's the way you do it. Yum! Nothing better with your pancakes than a nice warm mug of tea. I bet some of y'all didn't know I was a personal trainer, fitness instructor. I know stuff. Mr. Pepper not here to help me eat all these pancakes, so these are going in the freezer. They'll be good for about a week. And if you need one, just go ahead and pop one in the toaster. We don't fiddle around with microwaves in Mama's kitchen, remember. Toaster oven will do fine too. Check it out. If you enjoyed this video, please click subscribe and then click on the little bell icon so that you'll be notified every time I put up some new content. This is part of my Kitchen Basics series, and you'll find more complex recipes for not only food but for medicine and even some good meditations on my channel. So stay tuned, there's lots of good stuff. Until next time, remember that you can make and keep yourself well. I love you, Mama loves you, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.